Andrew McCART, IFL TV, in association with MTK Global. I've got to say, I'm delighted to be joined by Scottish heavyweight Nick Campbell. Nick, I said to you before I pushed record there that when I hear there's a new Scottish heavyweight turning professional, man, I'm buzzing. You know what I mean? I get excited, but just break down. Because I know you're a rugby player. You play for Glasgow Warriors, Jersey Reds. For the people that don't know who Nick Campbell is, can you just break down sort of like your past history and sort of like the rugby side of things?
Yeah, I turned professional when I was 21. Yeah, when I was 21, I turned professional. Glasgow Warriors, played 4 years there. Then went on to play 4 years for Jersey Reds, and then ended up here. But yeah, played age group rugby since I was young. Boxed a bit when I was young as well. When rugby started to get serious, stopped boxing because I couldn't do the two at the one time. And then went through all the age group systems, Glasgow, Scotland, culminated in the Under-20 World Cup in Japan, represented my country Under-20. Then off the back of that, got my first academy contract in 2009. Then another 2 years later, when I was 21, signed my full professional contract. Played another 2 years. 2013, had an offer to go and play for Jersey, play week in, week out.
Mm-hmm.
I took that on. And then, 2017 decided that I was going to stop playing rugby, pursue my dream of, having a go at boxing. And here we are now.
Here we are. I mean, you played for the national team at under-20 as well at rugby. I mean, it's a physical sport. Rugby is a very, very hard sport, but boxing is hard as well. But at least if you have a bad game in rugby, you've got your teammates to fall on. When you have a bad day in the office at boxing, so why the change? Why do you want to? Why come to boxing?
Listen, my grandfather was actually a professional boxer back in the 1950s. He left home when he was 14 and joined the Booths up north in Aberdeen. He's from Elgin.
Right.
Done the Booth circuits till he was 19, joined the army. Then when he came out of the army, boxed for the army and everything. I think he fought in Berlin in the Olympic Stadium just after the war had ended in the early 50s.
Wow.
And when he came back to Scotland, he decided that he was going to turn over. And I think he had his first couple of fights were actually at Paisley Ice Rink, which was quite a popular venue back in those times. So
is it still is?
Well, not for a scheduled bout though, just for a scrap minute. But yeah, so obviously with that being in the family, I've always had an interest. Me and my dad used to get up and watch boxing when we were young. He used to take me down to Peter Harrison's old gym.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah.
I used to go down there when I felt 10 to 14, went to a couple of different other gyms in Glasgow, trained. But like I say, when rugby kind of took over, concentrated on that. But I always had a love for boxing. Was always interested in boxing. We'd get up and watch, Lennox Lewis, Joe Kozagi, Ricky Hatton. Get up and watch all those fights, all the good British fighters at the time. Obviously Mayweather and stuff like that. But I've always had a passion for the sport. You probably know my mate Stuart Butt as well.
I know Stuart Butt. Yeah, I know Stuart Butt very well. Yeah,
my best mate. So obviously enough, Stuart's kind of.
He was too good looking for boxing. Always said,
Good look, not anymore, but he was. He used to be too good looking, but nah, Stuart's a really good mate of mine. So
he's a good man.
Obviously, I've always had an interest in his career, and I just love the sport. I love everything about it. I love the training. I love challenging yourself.
Yeah. And
there's no harder challenge really, stepping through the ropes.
So when you were playing rugby, Nick, did you always have that niggling feeling that if I don't turn pro now, if I don't make a jump, a leap of faith, so to speak, into this boxing game, I'll never do it. But when you were 21, 22, 23, did you have a niggling feeling or a thought in the back of your mind that you were going to turn pro in the future, or you were going to give the boxing game a chance?
Do you know what? I always had a kind of ambition to at least have one fight. That was always my kind of like. I didn't know where rugby was going to take me. If I got a contract for $200,000 a year, and I might not be sitting here now, but I never. So it was one of them that I felt as if I'd achieved everything that I could achieve in rugby, and I played at a pretty high level. Pretty proud of what I'd done. But it was just time to challenge something. And my actual goal wasn't even to turn professional. And back when I stopped playing, it was to just win the Scottish Championship.
Which you did.
Which I managed to achieve. Obviously, off the back of that, became part of the Scotland Elite Boxing Group. the boxing squad. Got some amazing experiences from that. You know, we'd be away to Russia, we went away in Thailand, you know, fighting abroad, down in GB at Sheffield, you know, with Scotland, sparring some of the top boys and stuff like that. So I learnt a lot. And that's, you know, when I first met Mark, who I've signed with, I met him 4 years ago in Jersey. Where I still live in Jersey, obviously, still a Scotsman at heart, but I'm in Jersey. But when I met Mark over there through a mutual friend, that's what he said to me at the time. He says, if you're thinking about doing it, go and get experience. And obviously my goal was just to win the Scottish Championship, end up getting on the squad. And, you know, that's maybe why I've hung about for so long. But that was the goal, to get as much experience as I could and try and learn the craft and transfer the skills I had from rugby over to boxing.
So you mentioned the Sheffield then, sparring with some of the top boys, big phrase, and I'd imagine you're sparring down there. I know Joshua's down there, but I don't know how are you handling yourself with these guys in there? Are you find it comfortable with the top elite amateurs down in Sheffield?
Listen, some great fighters. I've been in with Courtney Bennett, Delicious Ori, Solomon Dacre, who's just turned over as well. And yeah, I mean, they pose you problems because they're top amateurs. So if they weren't, there would be issues. But no, I mean, I felt like I learnt a lot from it. You know, I gave a good account of myself. The thing to take into account as well is I've only had 15 amateur fights. Some of these guys have had 40, 50 amateur fights and have been boxing since they're 9 years old. So I'm trying to close the gap on them, and I feel as if I'm still on that upward curve.
You're still learning.
It was a great experience for me. Do you know what I mean? It was invaluable. But yeah, I mean, listen, I'd like to think that as time goes on, the gap will close and we'll see what happens.
I'm good friends with Josh Taylor. Now I remember Josh's dream was to become world champion, and he set himself a new goal to become unified world champion. Now he set himself a new goal to become undisputed. No doubt when he becomes undisputed, he's going to become a two-weight. You said your dream and your goal was to just become elite Scottish champion in the amateurs. What is your goal now that you're professional?
Well, I don't actually think there's ever been a Scottish, British heavyweight champion. No. And, you know, or Commonwealth. And if you're getting into the pro game, that's got to be your goal. Listen, I know as well the level of fighter that is now challenging for the British title and Commonwealth title is pretty high. But it's in my nature. That's why I've chose to do this. So that's what I aspire to. And when the time comes, if the time comes, I'll be ready. And, you know, I will challenge for it. And I'll, you know, if I get that opportunity, I'll do everything I can to make sure that I achieve it.
You're 31 years old. Do you feel like, obviously 15 amateur fights, 31? I mean, are you in a rush, or do you think you're still learning your trade? You can take a step back, you can take those sort of learning fights in the pro game and stuff like that. I know Mark's a good man. Mark's done wonders for his fighters, Tennyson and Ronnie and stuff like that. So he knows you're in good hands, no doubt about that. But in your own mind, how do you feel about only having 15 fights, being that you're 31 years old and you're in the pro game? The heavyweight division right now is booming. It's probably the best it's been in a long time since you mentioned Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson days. So how are you feeling in your mind right now turning pro? Are you in a rush to get this British title, rush to make a statement?
No, listen, I'm in a rush to do whatever I need to do to get there. But I trust Mark. I trust that he'll make the right decisions for me. You know, I wouldn't say I'm an old 31. I'm new to the sport. I'm still fresh. I'm still a novice, really, in the grand scheme of things. But like I say, I've lived a clean life. I've always been a professional athlete since I've trained like a professional athlete from a young age. And, you know, I think I've got a lot of attributes that a lot of other heavyweight boxers don't have. Got a great engine, powerful puncher, 6'7", 115 kilos. You know, if you come ready, you're going to cause people problems. And I know myself, you know, I just need to apply myself, get the head down and work hard, and I can make it happen.
Some people will be wondering, like, because if you know yourself, Nick, when you think about Scottish fighters, I don't think we've got anyone bigger than a welterweight. Do you know what I mean?
This is the thing, you know, it's something new for Scotland. Josh Taylor's obviously an incredible fighter. He's one of the top fighters in the world. But we've always had fighters around that weight, and it's great. We need that, but it's just something a bit different at the party. Do you know what I mean? It's something. I think we've got a couple of Scottish heavyweights, but
Big J McFarlane and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But we've always been renowned for our lighter weights, so it's good. I'd love to be the first. If you do it, no one can take that away from you. You're the first person to ever do it. So let's go. Let's have a bash at it. Well, there's nothing to lose and everything to gain. So
like I said to you, I'm a boxing whore. Josh Taylor calls me a boxing whore. Like, I love the sport more than anything. So when Mark phoned me and texted me and saying that he's got a big heavyweight there, Nick Campbell from Scotland, I'm like, yes, man, I love when a big heavyweight steps onto the scene. I mean, 6'7", 115 kilos. I was thinking, I spoke to one of my mates today, and I was telling him about this interview and stuff like that. And I'm like, can you imagine a bill where you've got Josh Taylor, you've got Cash Farouk, Lee McGregor, you've got all these fighters that come through, and then you've got a Scottish heavyweight to chuck in there as well, and yourself, Nick, at the Hydro, 20,000 fans. I mean, do you think of the days like that, or fights like that, fighting on a Josh Taylor undercard, making your name, making a statement and stuff like that?
yeah, absolutely. Why not? Like, that's the whole point in doing it. So if that opportunity arises, you grab it with both hands, take it, make a statement, and make sure you don't leave any stone unturned to, make that statement that you need to do. But like you say, there's so much talent at the moment in Scottish boxing that hopefully I can add a little bit of something different to that and see what happens. I think people will get behind it. It's interesting, isn't it? It's not every day a ex-professional rugby player becomes professional. And
Well, that's the thing. You've got that story there. Ex-professional rugby player, 6'7" Scotsman, never been a Scottish British heavyweight champion, never been a Scottish Commonwealth heavyweight champion. There's so much storyline and so much there for you. But do you feel any pressure at all in
there's no
trying to become
pressure.
British champion?
Absolutely no pressure.
No pressure.
Listen, at the end of the day, a lot of people will watch this and they'll say, he's a big daft rugby player, but I'm going to prove them wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I've proved everybody wrong since I first said I was going to go and have a go at amateur boxing. People said, you're daft, that one about what? Here I am now. So who's to say where it stops? Do you know what I mean?
Thing is, as well, the heavyweight division, like I said to you, is booming at the moment. Not world level, obviously. You've got Joshua, Fury, and all these guys, Wilder, Usyk, Chisora, but at that British level, you've got Fabio Wardley, David Adeleye. Do you know what I mean? You've got really good fighters there or thereabouts. Nathan Gorman's one of them as well. Do you know what I mean? So there's a good division right now for you to be in. Like, have you got itchy knuckles to just get started? Have you got itchy knuckles for this pro debut?
Listen, as soon as it's there, we'll be ready for it, and whoever's there can get it, and that's it. That's
what I like to hear, Nick. You're in good hands with Mark, but I know you probably can't give too much away. But have you heard any sort of when or where you'll be making your pro debut? Will it be soon? Will it be in the summer? When will it be?
We actually might be out in 3 weeks' time.
Oh, perfect.
I can't tell you where or when, or can't tell you an exact date or where, but look, it's looking pretty good at the moment that we could be out in 3 weeks' time.
Good stuff. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to keep my eyes peeled and watch out for this. But when I will be stupid of me not to talk about Joshua and Fury, being that you are a heavyweight and being that we're probably going to see this fight this year. So being that you are a heavyweight and you're in the division, what's your thoughts on Fury versus Joshua?
Listen, they're two phenomenal fighters. You look at Anthony Joshua, he's a specimen. I've seen him down in Sheffield. I've seen the training he puts in, the hours he puts in. He's the ultimate professional. Do you know what I mean? Something for every heavyweight, what age you are, what level you're at, to aspire to. But I just think Tyson's got his number. I think Tyson's just got that, he's got that X factor. You'd never quite know what he's going to say or what he's going to do. And he's got that natural fighting ability, doesn't he? But having said that, it's heavyweight, all it takes is one punch. And I'm pretty sure that going into it, Anthony Joshua will have an unbelievable camp. I'm sure Tyson Fury will as well. But it's just what a spectacle for the sport. Two completely different chalk and cheese characters. But that's what makes it so exciting, and I hope it's this year because I'll definitely be watching it.
Definitely. Hopefully, I'll be going to it. Hopefully, I'll be there.
Well, go for it. Why not?
Exactly. Well, Nick, I've got to say, man, like for you, one final question and stuff like that. Obviously, as a fellow Scotsman, I'm always biased. People always call me this, that, and the next thing in the comments in the YouTube channel, but I'm a biased jock. I know I am. So are we going to see the first Scottish heavyweight British champion?
Why not? Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get the whole country going. Let's have some exciting nights, like you say. Let's get all the boys on the card. Let's make it special. Let's get the whole country talking about boxing again. Do you know what I mean? That's what we want. That's what we want to promote. So why not? Let's do it. Let's go for it.
Let's do it. Like I said, Scottish boxing is booming at the moment with Josh Taylor looking to become undisputed. You've got Lee McGregor out, hopefully soon to fight for his European title. You've got Cash Farouk, who's an exciting young fighter. Joe Ham, do you know what I mean? You've got Willie Hutchison down there. You've got John Docherty. I mean, yourself now. Again, like I say, the heavyweight division, everyone loves the heavyweight division. There's knockouts, there's power. Do you know what I mean? It's a fun division, and which will probably put a smile on your face because you never ever got that 200 grand a year contract at rugby. It's the money division.
That's it.
That's where the money is.
It's the money game. That's it. The money at heavyweight's unbelievable. But don't lose sight of the goal. Like, don't lose sight of the short-term goal. There's a lot to do before we ever get to that stage, and you can be sure that I'll be putting the work in and doing my best to try and get there.
100%. Quickly, one last thing. You're obviously training out in Belfast with Mark Dunlop and the guys out there. How you find it out there?
Yeah, brilliant. Obviously, I'm over here utilising my time with a training camp. It's cracking. I was training with James Tennyson tonight in the gym. So, I'm in good company.
Definitely.
It's cracking setup.
James, you're not sparring James, obviously.
On my knees. It's cracking. Do you know what I mean? I'm learning lots.
Yeah.
Obviously, a different style of fighting now. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. Loving every moment of it, and just want to soak it all in, take as much in as I can, and hopefully have a good debut.
Definitely, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Like I say, I'm definitely looking forward to this. I want to keep my eyes and ears peeled every time. And when there's an announcement, I'm going to spread the word and try and get the whole of Scotland behind you, mate. Because, like I say, a Scottish heavyweight, they're few and far between, and it would be good for you to stamp your name in Scottish boxing because right now it's on fire. Nick, any final words you'd like to say to the fans and the people watching this video?
I'd just like to thank my sponsors, guys who've helped me out so far. StillageNet, Alexander, you can see them there.
Yeah, I can see them.
Eddie Burns, Alexander Burnett, thanks for all your support. I wouldn't be sitting here just now if it wasn't for those guys. Give me a follow on Instagram, Nick A. Campbell 1 on Twitter and Instagram.
I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to follow you right now, Nick A. Campbell 1.
That's me. Both same handle on both Twitter and Instagram.
Perfect. All right, mate. Nick, this is the first of many interviews, mate. Hopefully, the next time we do a chat, it'll be face to face with a microphone in your face. So, train hard, mate. Looking forward for your debut. As soon as we find out, we'll get another interview and we'll talk about it. Okay, but stay safe, mate. Enjoy your training and hopefully speak soon, champ.
Thank you, mate.
Anytime, brother.